Hello people, how you all doing? You're welcome back to my channel. I hope you're good. I'm fine. I've just had a very busy 2 weeks and that's the reason I've not been able to put up any video, but now I'm back with a banger. Yes, today I came with a banger for you guys because I've been getting a lot of mails from people who have tried to apply for jobs using the LinkedIn tips I gave to them and then they got rejected. And I actually reached out to one of them and I asked the person to send me a copy of the CV she used in applying for the job and also the job she applied for, so I could also put up an application for the same role. So when she sent it to me, I applied exactly the way she sent it without editing the CV, nothing. I just sent the application, put in my application for that role with the CV and everything. I just changed the name on the CV and my phone number, my name, and I just put up the application for that role. And I wanted to see what the outcome would be. And yes, I wasn't surprised. 24 hours later, I got this generic mail from the recruiter saying, "We're sorry, thank you very much for putting up your application, but unfortunately, we are moving on with a more qualified candidate and we are going to keep your CV." You know, those generic mails they usually send when they give you a rejection. So when I got that rejection, that's not actually the first time I'm getting a rejection mail, but because I was using someone else's CV and I didn't really go through the CV, so I really can't tell why it is that the person was rejected for that role. So I reached out to the recruiter on LinkedIn. Her name was there below on the mail where they sent, and then her name, her full name, and everything was there. So I was able to use the name to search for her on LinkedIn, and then I made sure it was the same person who sent the mail to me because yes, it was the company's name was there on her profile on LinkedIn. So I was sure I was sending the mail to the right person. So I reached out to her in mail, introduced myself to her, told her I'd applied for a role, but then I got this generic rejection mail barely 24 hours after I'd applied for the mail. And I'm also very sure that she didn't go through the CV that I sent, and I just got the rejection like that, and I wasn't satisfied, and I wanted to know the reason why I was rejected for the job so I could do better in my next job application. So she actually was kind enough to respond, and then she said they usually get thousands of applications whenever they put up a job advert, and so it's not possible for them to go through the CVs one after the other. But then they have this algorithm where they are able to have some specific keywords they are looking for, and so if your CV does not have that particular word, it just goes automatically into reject. So they don't bother to go through the CV. You might have the qualification they are looking for, but then there is this keywords they are looking for in your CV. If it's not there, it just goes into the reject bin. So I'm like, okay, so is that it? So she said yes, and I said thank you very much for your response. I'm going to do that and all. So after that, I went back to the CV that the person had sent to me, and then I went back to the job description. The person actually has the qualification. This was actually for a customer success role. The person obviously has experience in customer service, but the keywords, some of those keywords that they needed in that company, like in the job description for that company that the person had applied for, there are a lot of things that were missing in the CV, and I want to be sure that those are the keywords they're looking for. They didn't find in the person's CV, which was the reason why the person got the rejection mail in the first place. So I went back to the job description and I saw a lot of things. They needed someone who had experience using Python, because obviously this was a tech company, and then they needed you to have worked with Python. Not like you must not have like an in-depth knowledge of Python, but just have like a general background of how Python works. This person doesn't have experience in Python, and then they needed you to have at least 3 years experience, which this person has, but then they wanted it to be in a tech environment, which this person doesn't have. The person has experience, over 7 years experience working as a customer service relationship, but then a relationship manager, but then it was in the financial institution and not in a tech company. So it really didn't count for them. They needed you to be in tech and then you're in the financial institution. So it was a no-no for them. Then they also needed the person to have some kind of certifications, which this person also doesn't have. So it was also a no-no. They needed you to be very fluent in speaking of English. Of course, you are fluent in English speaking, but then it's not there in your CV that you are fluent in speaking of English. So of course, because of that, the person got another rejection. So there are a lot of things in the JD that they needed that this person may have, but then the person took for granted, and because of that, the person actually got that generic rejection mail. So after that, I said, okay, so I'm going to do a video to talk to you guys about it, which is the reason why I have decided to do the sit down video to just talk about some of these things. So a lot of people put up application. It's not bad to put up application. It's not bad for you to spread your wings around because you don't know when the right job is going to click. But then you cannot be using the same CV to apply for 100 jobs. Every job has a description. They have something they are looking for. You might have experience in call center, you might have experience in customer service, but every company has some tools, some key applications that they need you to be experienced in, because obviously this is a remote job and no one has time to be teaching you all of these things from beginning. So they need you to have some key knowledge of these things, so that when you are already on the job, they'll just be doing very little or no training at all, because they believe that you already have this experience, you know. So when you're applying for a job, please, the first thing is you should always go through the job description and then doctor your CV to that specific role. You can't use one CV to apply for 100 jobs. It won't work, because if this company needs you to be able to work with Zendex, and then you are able to work with My Customer and Zendex are both CRM tools, but then this company wants you to be able to work with Zendex and not My Customer. So if you are able to put in your CV, I'm not asking you to lie, but then if you want to lie, you can lie, as far as you're able to defend the lie. If you're able to put in your CV, you know, instead of using Zendex, you just change it to My Customer, which is what this company is looking for. It's not bad, because you know you already have that experience in using the CRM tool, but it's just a different thing. It's just like someone asking you, if you are asked if you can handle Instagram when all you have is a knowledge of Facebook. I don't know if you know what I'm saying, but that's what it means. If you're able to use Customer and you're not able to use Zendex, you just switch it, because they are both CRM tools and I believe they do the same thing. It's just for you to just give yourself 1 or 2 minutes of more intense, maybe you go on YouTube to watch videos on how you use these things and you're good to go. So when you try to apply for a job, please always go through the job description, see what this customer are looking for. There are some things that are must have in a JD. When you are drafting your CV for this job, put those things inside. You must not put everything word for words, but try at least have 80% of what they are looking for. 20% is not enough for them to reject you. But in a situation whereby you don't even have anything at all and you expect them to call you, come on, no one is going to call you, because what they are looking for is not there. Remember, your CV always goes before you. They see your CV first before they meet you. So your CV should be able to give them a brief knowledge of who you are before they get to meet you physically. I hope in this video you have been able to learn 1 or 2 things about what you need to have in your CV, how important the job description is, how the job description must reflect in your CV, in every CV you are putting up before you put up the application for the job. In my next video, I'll be talking about what you shouldn't have on your CV before you apply for the job. See you in my next one. Bye.